2.0 Lunchtime live stream. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today. This should be a fun show for us today. Happy Parks on the Air to everybody this year. It's already been a good year to start out with Parks on the Air, in my opinion. Watch is telling me it's 12 o'clock, so we'll turn that off and turn that on. Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Ham Radio 2.0 Lunchtime live stream. Always a fun time. We're going to bring on Vance in 3VEM from the Parks on the Air team. He's going to talk to us today about the Support Your Parks weekend. That's the third full weekend in January here, just about a week and a half from now. So we're going to get that rolling here in just a second. I did want to kind of brag on you guys a little bit. You guys being the Ham fam, because we are up to just over $11,000 now for the hamradio.world Leah family. The last updates that I've read, they're making updates to their Facebook page, to James's Facebook page, pretty much every day. And the one I read yesterday is that James did open his eyes. He hadn't said anything yet that I'm aware of, but he's opening his eyes and kind of responding to people talking to him. So that was kind of a move in the right direction. He's not out of the woods yet. They haven't really increased his prognosis or given him a more positive outlook. They said that they're not giving up on him and they're still working on him there. So go check out James Lee on Facebook because that's where his wife is posting updates to. That's the page his wife is posting updates to for this GoFundMe thing that we're raising here. So KO4AFL just shared the link to that in chat. So thank you, those of you who have been able to support that this holiday season. And we're going to keep that going just as long as we need to, and as long as they will allow us to. So it sucks they have to go through that, but I'm glad that we can help them out in any way that we can. So let's turn that off here. I'm in Galveston today. And I've been here for I've been here for about a week now. It was a week ago tomorrow. It was a week ago Thursday that we came down. We did the New Year's Eve happy hour live stream. That was fun. Mike, Frank, Scott, and I and several other folks went out and did POTA on New Year's Day at Galveston Island State Park. We had about, 8 or 9 people there, something like that. And then we drove up to Huntsville, Texas the next day. Frank and I drove up to Huntsville, Texas the next day and did POTA there. So we activated 2 parks in 2 days. First day and the second day of the year, we activated a park every day. So that was a good way to start. And then I got this late Sunday night, maybe early Monday morning. I woke up and I just felt like crud. I got this head cold, and everything from my neck down is fine, but I've got all this sinus pressure and sneezing and coughing and everything. And I basically laid in bed all day Monday and Tuesday, and I'm feeling better today. Started feeling a little bit better yesterday evening. Feeling a little bit better today. I'm not out of it. It's not completely gone yet, but I guess just all this up and down cold weather, man. I don't know. But John says, did you get your the DX Commander set up on the beach? Yes, we had Mike's DX Commander set up on the beach. Yes, that was set up. In fact, my video that's posting tomorrow is about that event. So those of you who are patrons and who are YouTube channel members, thank you for your support of the channel. You have access to watch that video now. That video will go live to the public tomorrow evening. So that's my POTA video that we did. All right, let's bring Vance in and get this show rolling here. Hey man, good evening. How are you? Or good afternoon rather. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Glad to be on. And right as my video popped up, I realized I should have put on a different hat because I'm wearing one of mine that I have the brim all torn up. So everybody will just have to look at my raggedy hat today.
That's all right. That's no problem. So what's going on in the world of Parks on the Air? That's going to be it's been a real exciting year. 2021 was a really exciting year for Parks on the Air, obviously. And I know you're here to talk about the June Support Your Parks event. And I'm just going to let you have it here in a minute. But you wanted to talk about the 2021 stuff now or later?
We can do that. I can go through, we can talk about the Support Your Park stuff, and then maybe after that hit on my couple bonus items, because there's the upcoming Support Your Park stuff that I want to touch on, and then give a little bit of a sneak preview about 2021. So this coming weekend is when I'll be sending out the POTA update for December, which will be a year-end update. So there'll be some year total results that I'll be sharing in that update. But there's one specific thing that I want to give your audience a sneak peek of. So we'll do that after we talk about the Sports Parks thing, and then there's kind of a little a bonus POTA help thing that I'll want to share then too. But yeah, we can start with what everybody's probably most eager for, which is the upcoming Sports Parks event.
Yeah, totally. That's great. Okay, let's get. Do you need to share a screen or anything?
You know what? I will share a screen because there's some interesting little stuff that actually I was a couple weeks ago. I had been on with a ham radio adventure guy, and he asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, and I thought, well, hey, that might be fun to share the details of a little bit
Sure.
when you and I talk. So yeah, I'll pop my screen up. I'll push the magic screen share button.
Yeah, do that, and I think I have to enable it on this side. There it is. Yeah, that's good there. Boom. Here we go. Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, the really what I wanted to hit on. So, we've got the upcoming, Support Your Parks event for the winter, which is January 15th and 16th. So I think that's next weekend. And that's our standard seasonal event. But one of the things that we've, when you and I have been on and talking, we've been talking about it, on social media and stuff, is just the growth of POTA, especially over the last year. So looking forward to the upcoming winter event, Ham Radio Adventure Guy had actually asked me, he said, hey, like, how much turnout are you expecting for January? And to be honest, I had to say, I have no idea because, with everybody talking about it on YouTube and the podcasts and stuff like that, like the program's grown so much that I have no way of like even guessing, just because it's, how do you predict when you see a curve like this where you're fairly steady and then and then all of a sudden participation skyrockets.
Yeah.
So what I did is I actually grabbed the numbers. So this top chart, we're really just looking at the number of activators in specifically just the Support Your Parks weekends for the last, basically since 2019. So the first couple years we did the program, there was, 30, 50, 70 people out during the weekend doing activations. And then in 2020, we jumped up, a couple hundred folks. And then last year it just skyrocketed. And then if, I'd counted the same thing by QSOs too, but QSOs tend to grow kind of exponentially by activators. Every time you add one activator, you get at least 10 more QSOs. So, when looking at really participants and how many people are taking part, it's interesting to look at just how many people actually went out and did activations. So the question or the answer to the question of what do we think turnout will be like this year, if I put on my my CI hat, my day job data analysis hat, when you look at the trends for the last couple years, essentially the January event has traditionally been almost as big as the prior summer's event, and then the next summer is even bigger than that. So if that trend continues, there's a good chance that, even though it's the middle of winter, if we stick with those same trends we've had, we'll probably have 400 to 500 folks out activating here in January, which would be mind blowing to me. So it'll be interesting to see if we see 400 or 500 folks going out to activate parks or not. Obviously that explosive growth has a cap somewhere. We just don't know where it is yet. So that's what we're looking forward to. Is I think there'll be, if nothing else, there'll be a couple hundred folks out there activating parks that those of us who are staying inside where it's warm can hunt down.
Yeah, for sure. Good. Yeah, well, that's exciting to see that kind of growth for sure.
Yep.
So it's all good. So Charlie's asking, how many Support Your Park events are there in a year? And there's 4.
Yep.
One every quarter. And then the big one is the one in July, which is the plaque weekend.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the summer one. Yeah, is the real big one, and that's always the one with the biggest numbers. Except for this year, the fall was actually just slightly bigger than the summer because of our continued growth. So it's interesting when you look at the charts. It goes up, and then there's a spike in the summer, But then because of the curve continuing to go up, by the time we get to the fall, we were above the spike from the summer. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's a lot of folks getting out there and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
The other kind of sneak peek thing related specifically to the winter event. So this is again kind of sharing some heads up with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, during one of our POTA admin calls, we do basically there's weekly calls, but we stagger every other week on who's on the calls. But during our call, that's like the core admin folks. So other Jason, myself, Tom, Mike Case, the folks that are kind of core in the program. On that call, we basically talked about this growth and the fact that people often have asked, like, hey, are you going to do any other plaques throughout the year? So the kind of the big announcement related to Support Your Park specifically is that depending on what the turnout looks like this winter, for 2023, we're more than likely going to be adding a second plaque event in the year. So doing both a summer plaque event and a winter plaque event, just because of the growth and the interest. So turnout this winter is going to be part of the decision-making process about whether we do a plaque event that's just as big, or if we do like a smaller winter plaque event. But that's kind of what we've got in the works now. So if you want to see plaques a second time a year, make sure you get out and participate this winter, because if everybody turns out big numbers, then basically it's on my shoulders to decide, yeah, that's enough numbers that I'm willing to go through the hassle of getting a second round of plaques and all that stuff. So,
Wow. Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have, right? It's a good
yep.
the growth potential that is there, and it's a lot more work for you guys on the back end being volunteers and whatnot. But if that's the way it's going to grow, then great. I think that's a really good thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
good.
and I'm lucky too. I have a local trophy plaque engraving shop that works closely with me. So they actually kind of armed me with a whole bunch of ideas. So like, well, if you want to do something similar but not quite as involved, we have this kind of stuff that we can do. And so there's all kinds of options that they gave me too for ideas. So yeah, once we see the turnout, then we'll kind of decide for 2023 if we want to do something a little bit more during the winter event and make it a twice a year thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So
awesome. Well, that will be a fun event to see. Yeah, it's not this coming weekend, but it's the following weekend, so like a week and a half from now.
Yep.
It's
15th and 16th.
Right. Yeah, it's the third full weekend of January, April, July, and October. Is that right? I think
it's January, April, July, and October. Yep.
October. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to be in for this coming July. We're going to the actual Support Your Parks weekend. We didn't really plan it this way; it just kind of fell into place. Several of us, Charlie, Red Summit RF in the chat, Frank, and myself, and several other people are going to be traveling to the Grand Canyon, and we're going to activate that park during that weekend. So that's going to be a fun. I've never activated a park out there before. I've never actually been to the Grand Canyon. That's going to be a first for me.
Okay.
Totally, but yeah,
we're just don't activate from in the canyon. I don't think that would go well.
Yeah, from what I'm told, there's a park on the southern edge and on the northern edge of the canyon, on the top of the canyon. Yep. It might be the same park. I don't know.
Yeah, but, and you, to be honest, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's all one park or if it's two separate parks. I'd have to look at that myself, because I was a teenager when my parents took us out there, so my memory of it is old at this point. but yeah, there's obviously all the stuff in the canyon, but then for the people that aren't into like the effort of hiking up and down in the canyon, they have a lot of just stuff around the top and the rim, walking areas and picnic areas and viewpoints and stuff. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to find a nice place to set up. So
yeah, cool.
Yep. So yeah, so that's the winter event. We'll, once we have the results from that, obviously we'll kind of share how everybody did. But yeah, doing kind of a sneak peek at 2021. So that's the next kind of official update coming after this winter. But some folks, I don't know if anybody has seen me talking in the POTA Slack group, or anybody who's on Twitter that has seen my posts on Twitter, something that I took on as a personal challenge this year for 2022 is I'm making it a goal to try to hunt a park every day in 2022, and that the idea or the idea to do that was really inspired by over the last several weeks as 2021 started coming up to an end. I was looking at numbers and I'm like, there's a handful of people that might be on track to have hunted a park every single day in 2021. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, whether they do or not, like I have to try to do the same thing. I got to have a go. But yeah, now, as most of the logs have kind of trickled in for 2021, I can definitively confirm that there are two folks who did indeed hunt at least one park every single day of the year. And it's two call signs that anybody who is activated, I'm sure, will know, because if you have ever activated, they're probably in your log.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two folks who hunted at least one park every day was Kenneth Bailey, N5HA, and the other one was Clint Sprott, Whiskey 9 Alpha Victor. And I know Clint has actually won plaques during some of our plaque events, and yeah, N5HA, I think everybody who has activated any time in recent history has him in their log. So yeah, my personal goal for 2022 is going to see if I can repeat what they're doing, and I think I'm gonna well, maybe not jokingly, but give it the nickname of the maybe we'll call it the Bailey Sprott Challenge, to see if you can or hunt a park every day in 2022, and I'll probably share updates on that throughout the year if there's anybody who's playing along trying to do the same. On the activator side, there was somebody who got, I would say, very close to activating a park every day. Bill, who's down from, I think he's down in Florida, K4 NYM. Yeah, K4 NYM. He activated parks 347 days out of the year. So he was only, 17, 18 days shy of having activated a park every day of the year, which is pretty impressive if you ask me.
That is activated a park. I'd like to see how many parks of those is the same, because he probably lives near a common park and goes there a lot, I would guess. But that is still pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's got a fairly decent mix, because I know he's one of the folks that has designs on trying to challenge Justin for that Rover Award during the plaque event. So because he's down in that same neck of the woods where Justin is, so they can get to a lot of different parks from the area they live in.
Nice.
So yeah, he's got quite a few parks in addition to just big numbers of activations. He's definitely been busy last year.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I'd like to. I should look up his awards page and see what it looks like.
Yep. Yeah. It's like a wall.
Well, yeah, like a wall of certificates up there. I bet it is. Sheesh. Oh
Yep.
gosh.
So yeah, that's the most exciting stuff I have. The other thing that I figured I'd share with everybody while I'm here and stealing your audience's attention.
Yeah.
Something that I've just recently started doing, and I've talked with the other admin team about, like, whether or not I want to formalize it. But one of my many hats that I wear with POTA is I act as kind of like the level 2 support desk person. So when stuff comes into the POTA support desk, there's a half a dozen volunteers that kind of field the tickets initially for quick stuff, and anything they can't figure out, basically they kick over to me. So one of the things I've started doing the last several weeks is when I sit down to do that, I'm actually throwing a note up in the POTA help channel in the POTA Slack group. So anybody who's not part of the POTA Slack group, joining Slack and the POTA or the Parks on the Air Slack group is a good way to get a hold of the admins of the program, because that's where most of us kind of hang out. And in there we have a help channel. So I've actually started throwing posts in that help channel, basically to say, hey, I'm sitting down, I'm working through support tickets. So if you have specific questions, it's open office hours. And the way I'm doing those is one of my projects, thanks to the Ham Radio Workbench podcast crew, one of my recent projects was I actually put a repeater on the air connected to All Star. So basically, if you want to get a hold of me when I'm sitting down and doing those tickets, you can get yourself connected to All Star node 56001, and I'm kind of monitoring and chatting away there while I'm doing tickets. So right now it's not on a schedule. It's whenever my time allows and I'm working on stuff, I post. So if that's something folks are interested in, kind of join us on Slack, look at the POTA help channel, and when you see me throw those posts up, you can just get a hold of me and via that All Star node. And I do also have that. I know there's a pretty decent chunk of audience crossover with the Ham Workbench crew. I do pretty often have that node connected to the Workbench node, which is 55915. So if you happen to, I think Kyle connects to the Workbench node AA0Z. I see him connected to the Workbench node every now and then.
Okay.
So yeah, if you get connected there and shout out, I'm also likely to hear folks. So I'm monitoring that most of the day because I work from here in my shack. So that's an easy way to get a hold of me via RF light RF/IP.
Okay. I'll have to get those node numbers. I think my internet blipped for a half a second there, but it looks like everything's good now. But yeah, I'm on All Star quite a bit. I have I have a radioless hub set up at the house that I asked people to connect to, and then I have my portable node that's actually with me here in Galveston that I've been connected back to it. So, been really enjoying All Star lately. It's been it's a fun mode to play with and tinker with, and got a couple of projects in the works for that. So it's good to know that you guys are out there doing that. That's fun to hear.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and it was a fun project for me too because there's I actually had a 440 repeater that I got actually from my work that they stopped using, um, and it's been sitting on my desk in or under my desk in my shack for several years.
Yeah.
440 isn't really used in my area, so I kind of never got around to it. And then, yeah, on one of their shows, they were talking about All Star stuff, and I thought, well, that's something I can do with that 440 repeater. Is I can put the repeater on the air, connect it to All Star, then there'll actually be some traffic because I can connect it to something that or to an area where they're actually using 440. So yeah, it's been nice to have a 70 centimeter machine in the air that has some activity on it because of the All Star connections. That's been a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah. Is it node 56001?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's my node. If you want to connect to me directly, and then the 55915 is the Workbench one that I have it connected to most of the time. So
yeah. Good. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. My hub node is 43136. That's usually where I tell people to connect. And we had a good group in there a couple weeks ago, and then it's been quiet in there for the last couple weeks. People are up and down just like everything else. It's fine.
Yep.
But that's usually where I'm hanging out is on my node. But I like to connect it because there's a repeater up near my hunting lease. It's about an hour and a half north of where I live, and that repeater has All Star. So I like to connect my home node to that repeater so that I can talk via RF into that repeater when I'm at my hunting lease, and then be connected to everybody that's on the All Star link too. So it's All Star can be really fun. It's a good system, and I enjoy using it a lot. So I'll go out there and save your node number. So hit you up on there sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. And I jotted down yours too, so I'll have to maybe once in a while I'll connect in there and just see if we can make some noise for you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah. Kyle's been on this channel talking about All Star stuff several times. We've built nodes together, set up Supermon and that kind of thing. So
I actually watched some of your videos with you and him when I was getting it set up on mine because I had never dabbled in All Star before, and I knew you guys had talked about it, so I pulled up some of your old videos. The only thing I did different, not to get into the All Star rat hole, is I didn't use the Ham VoIP software. I used the All Star Link software.
Yeah.
I'd never used either one, so I just picked one. So maybe someday if I'm bored, I'll install the other one and compare them side by side. But it's up and running, so for me, that's good enough.
Sure. Yeah. The Ham VoIP has a couple of more features on it, but I've used both of them, and they're both essentially the same thing, or they do the same thing. I put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, either one works. So that's good. Cool, man.
Very
Well, hey,
cool.
it should be a really fun weekend, week and a half from now for the Support Your Parks on the Air weekend. I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to be doing that weekend yet. I'm going to try to do an activation, but it might depend on other stuff I have going on at the time. But I'm sure you'll see a lot of people out there that are taking advantage of that Support Your Parks in the Air weekend. That I know that last one we did, we worked more park to parks that weekend than I've ever worked before. So on a single activation, there was a lot of people out during that weekend. So that was a really fun thing to see as well.
Yep. Yeah. When there's 600 activators out at once, there's
Yeah.
it's the opportunity is ripe for park to park
Yeah,
complexes.
absolutely. So. Yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. Good. Well, cool, man. This has been good info. Look forward to catching up with you more after the event and talking about what the numbers look like specifically for that weekend and that kind of thing. So, did you have anything else for us today?
Nope. Yeah, that's really all I had. Is I wanted to make sure the bug was in everybody's ears about the event
Mm-hmm.
coming up and give a couple sneak previews of some of the stuff that will be in the year-end update that'll be coming out after this weekend. So
Cool. Perfect. Well, that's great. Thanks, Vance. Appreciate your time today. And everybody go out there and register yourself on POTA.app. That link is in the description below on the YouTube video. And you can register yourself for free out there. And if you're a chaser, you don't have to do anything except watch your stats go up if you're out there chasing those activators, because the activators log is the only one that matters. Well, it's the only one that gets uploaded. And once the activators log gets uploaded, you as the chaser get or the hunter, I guess they call it, you get credit for it automatically. So it's one of the good things about POTA that I like over the other programs, is because you don't have to upload 2 logs and confirm the QSO. So that's really fun.
Yep. Cool.
So good. Cool. Thanks, Vance. I appreciate your time today. And we'll catch up with you at the end of the month and get you back on for another live stream to see to get all the numbers in place.
You bet. Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep. Take it easy.
All right. Have fun. So that is that. So I'm looking at a couple of the questions in the chat. How quickly do you have to post your logs? Greg asks. Well, you should do it as quickly as you can. But honestly, I was talking to KO4AFL on this stream a couple months ago, and he was like, man, sometimes we get logs in that are 6 or 12 months old or even older. So I've been guilty of not uploading logs quickly, but in order to get counted in some of the events and some of the plaques and some of the contests that are done inside of the POTA effort, you should probably get them uploaded as quickly as you can. So okay, well, let's just guess what, you can just answer that then since you're still there. Gosh.
Red as I was hitting my
all there. Yeah, my voice isn't all there. So I saw somebody asking about hamcation. I was going to answer that, and then I went back and I looked and I was like, oh, they're asking about POTA now. I didn't see that question before I turned you off, Vance. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I was just going to say for the yeah, you can submit logs whenever, so there's no deadline as far as just for your own personal credit. But for the events where we announce results, we generally say get your logs in within 2 weeks. So for the summer event where there's plaques, they have to be in within 2 weeks because that's when we pull the numbers. But for the other events, there's no plaques or anything. But if you want your accounts to be included, like when I come on here and we talk about the numbers, just make sure you have them in within 2 weeks is like the absolute outer limit. Most folks are good about sending their logs the next day, and then the call area managers get them up within a few days after that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Good. Any other Parks on the Air related questions in the chat? Somebody asked about hamcation. Yes, I'm going to hamcation. Frank and I bought our tickets a month ago, something like that. So we'll be flying in Wednesday night and flying home Sunday night. So looking forward to hamcation. It's only like 2 or 3 weeks after Winter Field Day. So got this POTA event in a week and a half. And then 2 weeks after that's Winter Field Day. And then like 2, maybe 3 weeks after that is hamcation. So a lot of different ham radio stuff upcoming. Dawn is asking if you can add the Slack channel description in this video. Do you have a link to that, or is that something you guys share publicly? I'm not even sure.
If you go to just POTA.app,
yep,
and from the menu go to community resources, there is a link there to the Slack group. I don't recall if that's behind the login or not, so
okay,
that's why I'm not just dropping the link, because if I just drop the link, I'm not sure if I don't quite recall if that's behind the login or not. But yeah, from
gotcha.
POTA.app, community resources, and you'll find a link for the Slack group.
I'll drop a link to community resources.
That works.
Right, and from there you guys can figure out what you want to do from there. But yeah, there's a link to the Facebook group and to the Slack channel from there, and their YouTube channel and whatnot. So that's good there. Good. Congratulations to me. I have a 550 Park to Park award. Oh yeah, I saw that the other day. It was fun. So Frank's in the chat saying no one uses Slack. Frank's a little bit. Frank's C++, and he's stuck in 1997 with a lot of things, and it's just you got to.
Probably one of, what is he like? I wonder what Frank's chat tool of choice is.
Discord right now.
Discord, okay.
But and I used Slack for a while, and quite frankly, I think Slack is probably a little bit better than Discord for certain things. But it's I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're talking about Slack inside of a company, Slack is certainly better.
Yeah, Slack is. I think they're more focused around being like a tool for like enterprises and stuff than just a general chat thing. So yeah, for general hobby stuff, yeah, I think Discord and things like that are certainly more popular. But Slack, for our purposes, it works pretty well. One or two of our admin use it at work, so it was just kind of an easy thing for us to set up and use. So
yeah. And I had a Slack channel for a couple of my local clubs here had Slack channels for a while. In fact, I think they still do actually. It's good. But yeah, Discord. There's a lot of ham radio YouTubers on Discord, so that's just kind of where that's actually how I met some of those guys. Was through Discord. I started my own Discord server, and several people joined and said, "Oh, hey, I came here from so and so's channel." I'm like, I didn't know he had a channel. Let me go join. So it was all good. But yeah. Cool. So good. All right. Well, hey, yeah, that's good. Yeah, guys, I apologize. My voice is not all back yet, and my congestion is still there. So I hope it didn't sound like too much of a throaty sound in my microphone today. But yeah, so a week and a half from now, the 15th and 16th is Support Your Parks weekend. Just go out to your favorite POTA spot and set up. You'll be able to make a lot of contacts that weekend, and a lot of them will be park to park because there'll be a lot of people out activating. So go do some parks on the air that weekend. So that'll be a fun event. So once again, thanks to Vance and all the guys at the POTA team for putting up the website. And that new website that y'all updated a few months back is neat. It takes some getting used to. Once you get used to it, it's kind of neat to be able to pull up stats about yourself, about your friends, about a park. So I think it's put together very well, and it's easy to navigate once you kind of fiddle your way around in there. If you're used to the old website, then it might take some getting used to, but once you get used to it, I think it does really well. So I've been having fun looking up numbers and tracking stuff with it on my own side. So, but good deal. All right. Well, we're going to shut it down, guys. Thank you very much for joining today. Go to the POTA.app website and register yourself if you haven't already. Go out there and hunt some parks, hunt some activators that are out there, and go out there and do your own activations because it's a really fun thing to do. Tomorrow for Thursday Night Ham Radio, you'll see my January 1st POTA activation video, and it was fun to get a lot of people out on the beach. It was like 75 degrees outside that day on January 1st, so I was not complaining. It was all good. But it's got. I'm going to try to get back down there again before we go home this weekend. But we'll see how I'm feeling with that. So, thanks for joining today, everyone. Have a good afternoon and a good rest of the week. And be sure to go out there for the Support Your Parks in the Wear weekend in about a week and a half. So I'm going to shut it down and let you guys go. 73. Thanks a lot, Vance, for your time today.
You bet.